on me like that. I made, furniture for shows. I did anything. But with Michael, it's...
What if everything you thought you knew about Hollywood royalty was just a shimmering illusion, hiding years of betrayal, heartbreak, and buried secrets? Behind the spotlight, Liza Minnelli's life has unfolded like a real-life drama, far more shocking than any role she ever played. A glamorous wedding turned into a devastating nightmare. A dream romance ended in public humiliation. And just when the world thought she was done, she pulled herself back from the brink in ways no one saw coming. But what really happened behind closed doors? How did one of Hollywood's brightest stars survive betrayals that would have shattered anyone else? And why is her story only now being fully revealed? The truth has been hidden for decades, but now it's coming to light. And what you're about to hear will change how you see her forever. Keep watching, because this is just the beginning. The story of Liza Minnelli is one of relentless reinvention and breathtaking resilience. In her youth, the intensity of celebrity life was magnified by the unbearable weight of living up to a name that was synonymous with Hollywood magic. Amid the unpredictable world of studio pressures and personal strife, the young Liza was thrust into a life where normalcy was a far-removed concept, transforming her into a figure both revered and misunderstood. Raised in an environment where every seemingly ordinary moment was interlaced with extraordinary expectations, she was expected to perform grace under pressure, a feat that she mastered, even as the harsh realities of a troubled home life painted a much darker picture behind the dazzling lights of the stage. In the blink of an eye, she went from a vulnerable girl juggling impossible responsibilities to a powerhouse performer who captured the hearts of millions, an evolution punctuated by powerful hooks that remind us every struggle is the seed of greatness, and every setback is a setup for an extraordinary comeback. Behind the mesmerizing performance and captivating stage presence lies a narrative filled with equally compelling financial strategies and luxurious lifestyle choices that reveal another facet of her brilliance. Over the years, Liza has reinvented her public image with an elegant flair that extends to every aspect of her financial life. Far from being merely a performer, she has developed a well-rounded portfolio that mirrors her multifaceted persona. Known for her discerning taste, she has owned an impressive array of luxury vehicles, each one a symbol of her success and a statement of refined elegance. Ranging from classic, meticulously restored models to modern marvels that blend performance with sheer opulence. Her collection of high-end timepieces is no less impressive. Each watch is a testament to her appreciation for precision and style, meticulously selected to complement her dynamic lifestyle and to mark the passage of time with exquisite craftsmanship. But Liza's influence doesn't end on the red carpet. Her financial acumen extends into strategic real estate investments and the acquisition of exclusive properties that serve as both luxurious retreats and smart investments. Her residence choices and private jet acquisitions are emblematic of a woman who has not only survived, but thrived in an industry built on spectacle and reinvention. These assets have not only provided her with a sense of security, but have also solidified her reputation as a savvy businesswoman who navigates the realms of high finance with the same confidence she shows on stage. Investment in high-stake collaborations, entrepreneurial ventures, and major business deals has further diversified her wealth, transforming her career achievements into long-term prosperity. Each venture reflects a calculated risk, a signature move that demonstrates how personal branding can extend into lucrative ventures and create enduring wealth. A reminder to us all that authentic success is built on resilience and intelligent decision-making. Amid the lavish lifestyle and sparkling success lies an intricate web of insurance policies designed to protect both her health and her high-value assets. From comprehensive personal coverage to tailored business insurance policies, every detail of her financial strategy has been meticulously planned to safeguard her legacy. This prudent approach to managing risk ensures that even as she rides the unpredictable waves of a life in the limelight, her financial future remains secure. A vital lesson in wealth preservation that underscores the importance of proactive planning in the face of uncertainty. A closer look at these strategies reveals key financial lessons: the significance of diversifying one's portfolio, the wisdom of investing in tangible assets, and the necessity of securing one's financial future through robust protective measures. These insights not only reflect her evolution from a troubled childhood to an emblem of empowerment, but also serve as inspiration for anyone seeking to navigate as a captivating narrative that binds the classic Hollywood era with modern resilience. Her early years were marked by overwhelming challenges that pushed her to a breaking point, and yet it was from this crucible that her extraordinary strength was forged. The electrifying transformation from a struggling young artist, contending with a hazardous home environment and relentless pressures from a demanding industry, to a celebrated icon known for her indomitable spirit and lavish lifestyle is a journey that demands both admiration and respect. Every chapter of her life is interwoven with moments that inspire fierce determination and a zest for life that defies all odds. But even in sorrow, Liza refused to stand still. When she was offered the role in The Sterile Cuckoo, it wasn't just a job, it was a rebellion. Her mother had warned her against it, saying the character felt too close to home. Too needy, too intense, Judy had said. But Liza didn't flinch. She turned down promises on Broadway, an assured hit just to make herself available. Director Alan Pakula had been leaning toward Patty Duke. Liza waited, and when she finally got the part, she didn't just act, she bled on screen. Her performance was raw, vulnerable, unforgettable. She earned an Academy Award nomination. Roger Ebert predicted a win. She didn't win. Maggie Smith did, but it didn't matter. Hollywood had taken notice. And yet, rumors whispered that her nomination was sympathy-fueled. One critic shut it down with a single line. If you believe that, you either didn't see the film or didn't understand it. Then came Liza with a Z'd, a groundbreaking moment that rewrote the rules of what television could look like. Bob Fosse directed it like a film, using 8 16mm cameras to avoid the stale look of videotape. The show wasn't just visually stunning, it was electric. Marvin Hamlish worked the music. Halston crafted every dazzling costume. NBC aired it in 1972 and the response was explosive. It won 4 Emmy Awards and a Peabody. But then, vanished. It wasn't seen for over 25 years. Until in 1999, archivist Michael Eric made a discovery. Liza owned the copyright. She'd kept the recordings. Piece by piece, they rebuilt it, frame by frame, sound by sound. In 2006, it aired on Showtime. Liza had brought her legacy back from the shadows. That same year, her world shifted again. Cabaret premiered, and it didn't just change her career, it carved her name into Hollywood history. Before the film even hit theaters, she made headlines like never before. Time and Newsweek both featured her on their covers in the same week. No star had ever done that. And when Oscar night arrived, Liza's name was called. Best Actress. She was 26. She beat out legends. Diana Ross, Cicely Tyson. Her speech was heartfelt but clear. This was her moment. Not her mother's, not her father's. Heron, the awards didn't stop. A Golden Globe, a BAFTA, a Saint, Geordie, a Donatello. She didn't just play Sally Bowles, she became her. Cabaret wasn't a typical musical. It was biting, daring, political. It stared into the heart of 1930s Berlin and refused to blink. And Liza didn't hold back. Her performance was explosive, fragile and ferocious in the same breath. Fosse's style was sharp and unpredictable. Liza matched him beat for beat. Their collaboration didn't just win trophies, it redefined the musical genre. But in Hollywood, heights are often followed by hard falls, and Liza's descent came quicker than anyone expected. Just 3 years later, she starred in Lucky Lady, a big-budget film with Gene Hackman and Burt Reynolds. It had everything except heart. Critics ripped it apart, audiences ignored it. Roger Ebert summed it up bitterly. So much effort went into something so forgettable. The cracks had started. Next came A Matter of Time, a film that should have been a loving tribute to her father, Vincente Minnelli. Liza starred opposite Ingrid Bergman in a magical, dreamlike story. But behind the scenes, her father was struggling. There were whispers of early dementia. The studio hated his cut, 3 hours of poetry and memory. They butchered it, slashed the runtime, dubbed voices, added cheap stock footage. The final version felt nothing like what was intended. Vincente disowned it. Liza was humiliated. Martin Scorsese even bought ad space to publicly protest the studio's treatment of her father. But the damage was done. Then came New York. New York in 1977, a glitzy attempt to merge golden-era musicals with gritty realism. Scorsese directed. De Niro co-starred. It should have worked. But the tone was murky, too long, too confusing. The film bombed. And it didn't just hurt Liza. Scorsese himself spiraled into a dark place. Their failures were public, painful, and impossible to shake. By 1978, Variety called her box office poison. Just like that, doors that were once wide open slammed shut. Behind the curtain, Liza's lifestyle remained fiercely opulent. Even as roles dried up, her fortune remained formidable. At her peak, her net worth soared past $50 million, largely from concert tours, licensing deals, and international royalties. Today, that figure hovers closer to $10 million, according to financial insiders. Still significant, but a far cry from her peak. Her future earnings? Limited, but her legacy value continues to rise. Merchandising rights, royalties, and estate value could push her projected worth into the $20 million range in the next decade. What's shocking isn't just what she endured. It's how she carried it with such poise. Most people would retreat after something like that. But Liza? She poured herself back into her work. She transformed the pain into performance. That year, while her personal life was breaking, she was being nominated for her first Oscar for The Sterile Cuckoo. It was as if heartbreak became her fuel. Every note she sang held a crack of truth, and that vulnerability made her magnetic. Decades later, that same vulnerability echoed when she stepped onto a studio mic in New York City and delivered one of the most unexpected collaborations in modern music. When My Chemical Romance asked her to voice a haunting character for their song Mama, fans were stunned. Why Liza Minnelli? But for frontman Gerard Way, the answer was clear. He needed someone who had lived through it. Liza didn't just lend her voice, she gave the track its soul. Her trembling line, "If you would call me your sweetheart," followed by a near sob, didn't just fit the song, it elevated it. One critic called it the most chilling 15 seconds in modern rock. And she did it for nothing. No paycheck, just pure artistry. Curiosity led her there. Experience carried her through. But rewind to 1992 and you'll find another powerful Liza moment, one that was never supposed to happen. At the Freddie Mercury tribute concert, she wasn't on the original lineup. Someone canceled. The organizers were desperate. Liza said yes. And when she stepped onto the Wembley Stadium stage, something shifted. We Are the Champions wasn't just a tribute to Freddie, it became an anthem of her own survival. The entire stadium stood with her, singing. It was raw, unscripted, unforgettable. That wasn't a performance, it was a declaration. Freddie had adored her, and in that moment, their stories intertwined in front of the world. That same year, the industry handed her something no one else had ever received before. The very first Grammy Legend Award. And just like that, the woman they had once written off had reclaimed her place in history. The performance that night, it wasn't choreographed, it was all feeling. Her rendition of Losing My Mind, the same song that had sparked her pop revival in '89, hit differently now. The lyric, "Or were you just being kind?" landed like a question to the entire entertainment world. Were they ever truly there for her, or only when she dazzled? By the late '80s, Liza was already redefining herself with the Results album, a sharp electronic departure from her Broadway roots crafted by the Pet Shop Boys. It shocked everyone. Who would have expected the reigning queen of Cabaret to ride synth beats into the European charts? But it worked. Because she meant it. It wasn't reinvention, it was expansion. The album went gold in the UK and Spain, selling hundreds of thousands. Critics called it a perfect collision of theatrical soul and pop innovation. But before all the glitter of comeback tours and experimental albums, there was Carnegie Hall. And what happened there was more than just a concert. It was an explosion. In 1979, Liza played 11 straight nights at the iconic venue. Every show sold out. Some people camped outside for tickets. Critics called it hysteria. She called it healing. One fan told her afterward, "You give everybody hope." That line stuck with her for life. And maybe that's why they kept coming back. Not just for the songs, but for the feeling. 8 years later, she returned for a 3-week residency. This time with a 47-piece orchestra, designer gowns by Halston, and a presence that owned every inch of the stage. The live album shot onto the Billboard 200 and stayed there for 8 weeks. She wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. By 1969, the marriage was over in everything but legal terms. The divorce dragged until 1974, but the love story had already shattered. Still, Liza found a way to laugh through it years later. She'd say, "I always call before I come over. I never want to be surprised again." A bittersweet joke masking the weight of her heartbreak. In her recent 2024 documentary, she finally opened up. She said Peter Allen had been trapped in a lie, and when he came out, she understood. And shockingly, despite everything, they stayed close. When Peter passed away in 1992 from AIDS-related complications, Liza never looked away. She never stopped loving him. Here's the part most people miss. Liza wasn't just echoing her own heartbreak. She was living her mother's. Judy Garland had gone through eerily similar pain. Rumors say she once found Vincente Minnelli, Liza's father, in bed with another man. Liza's pain became a mirror of her mother's tragedy. History repeating itself in Technicolor heartbreak. And through it all, Liza trusted. That's what her longtime friend Michael Feinstein says. He insists she didn't know, couldn't have known. Her faith in people, he says, was her greatest strength and her most dangerous flaw. Director Bruce David Clean agrees. He saw the same thing. Even when shattered, Liza held on to love. Her loyalty to Peter Allen remained unshaken, even long after the betrayal. But loyalty couldn't protect her body. By her late 60s, she was a patchwork of surgeries and resilience. 2 artificial hips, a reconstructed knee, 3 crushed spinal discs, a lifetime of pain wrapped in performance. She danced every day, even when it hurt. "Never stop moving," she said, "or you'll stop moving." That wasn't metaphor, it was survival. Her scoliosis went undiagnosed for years until a cruel remark from a co-star forced her to seek answers. And yet she adapted, adjusted, and kept performing through it all. Then in 2000, everything changed. One night in her Florida home, Liza collapsed. Paramedics arrived to find her speech slurred, her body barely responsive. Everyone feared it was a stroke, but it was encephalitis, a brain inflammation that threatened her speech, her mobility, her life. Doctors told her she might never walk or speak again, but within a year she was on stage, singing with Michael Jackson at Madison Square Garden, appearing on Arrested Development. Her comeback wasn't just improbable, it was miraculous. But then came the scandals. In 2002, she married David Jest in a star-studded ceremony. Michael Jackson was the best man. Elizabeth Taylor was maid of honor. A fairy tale wedding, until it crumbled. Jest sued her for $10 million, alleging physical attacks that caused permanent neurological damage. Her doctors countered, saying his condition stemmed from a severe case of shingles. The truth, buried in court documents and legal deflections. The case dragged until 2007 and ended in dismissal, but the wounds lingered. Then, another shock, her longtime chauffeur, Mohammed Samaya, filed a $100 million lawsuit claiming years of abuse. He alleged she attacked him when he refused her advances and tried to kiss him. The case stretched across years, finally settled out of court, days before Liza was set to testify. She never admitted guilt, but the damage to her public image was undeniable. And yet, Liza never vanished. She simply stepped out of the spotlight on her own terms. In 2022, she re-emerged at the Oscars alongside Lady Gaga, presenting Best Picture at 76. The crowd rose for her. They remembered. That same year, she recorded Embraceable You with Michael Feinstein and collaborated on a fragrance to honor her mother's 100th birthday. Now, 79, Liza Minnelli remains a symbol of survival. A new documentary, Liza, a truly terrific, absolutely true story, is set for a 2025 release. It includes rare footage, deeply personal interviews, and an unfiltered look into the life of a woman who has seen and endured it all. Financially, Liza's journey is as complex as her emotional one. Once worth over $50 million at the peak of her career, her fortune took hits from legal battles, medical costs, and costly real estate deals. Today, her estimated net worth sits closer to $15 million, with projections suggesting modest growth driven by residuals, licensing deals, and documentary revenue. Her iconic Manhattan apartment, once listed for $8.5 million, remains her crown jewel. Alongside previous properties in Beverly Hills and Miami, Liza has owned everything from vintage Rolls-Royces to a custom Bentley, and her personal jewelry and luxury watch collection, featuring brands like Cartier and Piaget, reflects old Hollywood glamour. She also had private jet access during her touring prime, often flying on Gulfstreams booked through her production company. As for insurance, insiders say Liza maintained policies covering health, performance risk, and asset protection for decades, vital in an industry built on unpredictability. Her business ventures have ranged from perfume collaborations to Broadway production investments. While not every venture was a financial win, they showcased her entrepreneurial spirit. One key lesson from Liza's financial story: diversify wisely, protect your image, and never underestimate the cost of a comeback. She learned, sometimes painfully, that fame may open doors, but protecting your future requires grit, strategy, and relentless reinvention. And here's the part that lingers. Liza Minnelli isn't just a celebrity. She's a survivor. A woman who kept moving even when the world told her to sit still. Who faced betrayal, loss, scandal, and decline, and St.